Hello everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guides, bringing my guide for God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty. Today we're doing part 4 entitled Temple of Delphi. This is going to be a long one, folks. About a whole hour session of just non-stop, gaming. This will also include the Pollux boss fight, I think they're called. I forget what the other guy's name was, but I honestly forget who's who. But it's the conjoined twin boss fight. We had to go get the Oracle. I remember when I first was playing this game, I remember back in the day, I used to think that fight was actually quite tremendously hard. Okay, well, I guess not that tremendous, but I remember it being hard. At the very least. Doable, but hard. And after today, I was like, oh. Or not today, but when I played the video, I'm like, oh, okay. Speaking of hard, I actually died here quite often. I think like 3 or 4 times with the Cerberus fight. So Cerberus has only like a few attacks that you need to really watch out for. And the main one is like the teleport one, which is not too bad because he just teleports away from you, does no damage, and then will just teleport to where you're at and try to do a slam attack. The main thing that you really want to try to catch off guard is going to be the swipe attack with the parry. And the thing that sucks is whenever you grab the Cerberus, if you get him stunned and you grab the Cerberus, you're locked into having to fight with the smaller dogs. Also, that attack right there, I think that used to be blockable back in old God of Wars, but that slam fire breath attack, I believe, as far as I'm aware, is unblockable, so you might want to just dodge that. Because I could have sworn that it was blockable, but as far as I remember, it's not. That shield attack, it does have an AoE explosion to it. It's very small, but something still to kind of just look out for and just be wary of. And as you can tell, I'm kicking the dogs basically straight into the Cerberus. And the thing is, one part of the reason why I don't like the Cerberus fight 4 is because of the simple fact that this sumbitch is just so damn tanky. It takes forever to stun him, it takes forever to kill him, and it's really obnoxious. Now again, you know, if you fought Cerberi, well, technically Kerbers, I know, but if you fought them back in the day, like for older God of Wars, you should be, in theory, relatively used to how they are in this game. Well, Cerberus in terms of God of War 3, because that's where this one's basically from. I'm trying to think, does that actually do a stun attack? Kind of, I guess. I think so. But yeah, for the most part, again, you know, you're just going to have to wither it down. I don't have any better pieces of device besides just pure attack all the time. I mean, there's probably, there's probably tons and tons of better guys out there than what I've got. But this is just how I just do it. And yes, I do know that I have the club equipped, but I don't really like using... I really don't like using the extra weapons in this game on Titan mode, because I'm the type that's typically if it's not broke, don't fix it type of guy. So if it works for me, I'm going to keep doing it, even if it's a new mechanic, which that is a bad thing, because there's a lot of times where there's a lot of games that have a new mechanic that just really, really works, you know, really well for the game, and here I am just not using it and not realizing that it was good the entire time, like an idiot. Also, pressing circle will allow you to do that throw attack, so you don't have to, you know, fight the whole thing. Also, I believe that most likely, if you wanted to try to throw him off the side of the edge there, to, you know, throw him off the cliff, as far as I'm aware, that's not possible, because almost every fight I've gotten into with a Cerberus, I didn't try this arena, but the ones that I try later that have an obvious, like, oh, you could potentially throw people off, it ends up being an invisible wall there, so I don't think that you can. They kind of act like a mid-boss anyway, so to be fair, it would make sense for them not to just let you just do that, but still, you know, I wouldn't try it, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you do you. If you want to try it out and if it works, awesome. I mean, I just didn't know. Not like it really matters. I mean, yeah, it'd make the fight a little easier, but to be fair, it's not an incredibly hard arena. The only thing, again, to really worry about is when the small dogs appear, but even then, it's like, you just kick them around the corner and get rid of them that way. So, the Temple of Delphi is one of my potentially least favorite levels of the game. I like the idea of it, because the whole concept is you just need to go you kind of have to turn everything into old age. You kind of have to wither everything down. I want to say that it's time traveling type stuff, but I'm still not sure if that's actually the case. I think it just withers things just in general. But yeah, so whenever the camera shows you where to go, that's typically where you need to go. Well, yeah, I know I just said that in the same sentence, but if that's the case, if the camera's showing you a direction, go the opposite direction of where that is to go find extra secrets and stuff. Which, by the way, I do get health upgraded first this time around. So there's at least that. But not only that, but I did miss a couple feathers. Well, like I was down 2 feathers when I got the max health. So there was definitely at least probably potentially a chest or 2 that I might have missed along the way. However, of course, this game, one thing that's always been great about God of Wars back in the day was the fact that even if you were to miss a Gorgon Eye or miss a Phoenix Feather or whatever, you would still always have opportune time to go get yourself a feather to get max health. They never let you just get away with not having full max stuff. They want you to max out your equipment, what have you. Which reminds me, I would love to do a no upgrade run of this game at of God of War 1, sorry. I would love to do a no upgrade run of God of War 1. I apologize, not this game particularly. I mean, that would be neat, I guess. Like, of course I would love to do it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I would like to just do God of War 1. I came this way first because I wasn't sure exactly which direction was the true direction, which, again, I think the game told me, but I was not paying any attention, and just, yeah. So these are the new siren types. They're always electric types, and as far as I know, this game does not have any weaknesses to a specific element. I don't think so. I could always look that up, and we have like a whole hour to fucking do it, but I'm just gonna assume this is God of War. I don't think weaknesses are even really much of a thing, as far as I can tell. I mean, you know what? Damn it! All right, I'm curious. So a few things to kind of keep a lookout for is obviously the giant, thunderstorm thing when they shock the ground, but that's more like it'll let you know it's coming. The only problem with sirens. Sorry. The only problem with sirens is this bullshit. When you're having to fight them and then somebody else with them. They're fine by themselves, but if you're fighting them with other people, it gets really annoying. And again, this is my first siren fight of the game, so I'm kind of like trying to get used to how the sirens work. And the funny thing is, I guess you could say, is that the stun mechanic, if there's multiple sirens in that area, there's multiple sirens in your area. If you stun one, you can use that stun to stun another one. So you can just keep going back and forth between them. Now, whether or not that does a lot of damage, I don't know. But still, it's something that you could always try to keep an eye out for, I guess. But yeah, let me see if elementals are even really a thing at all. I don't think so. Like, somebody says... Hold on. Yeah, God of War does not work that way. That's what I thought. The thing is, like, somebody had the idea, they're like, I think it works that way, but I'm not 100% sure it does. Somebody said it goes fire, ice, soul, lightning, fire. That's the order. Like, fire beats ice beats Hades, or soul. Which I never called it that. I always just called it Hades. I guess it would be soul would make sense. Soul beats, lightning, electric, and then, that beats fire. But I don't know. And the thing is, like, we don't even have soul equipped now anyway, so we can't really do anything. And what's funny is I'm on this GameFAQs thing, and then people are talking about, like, the acronym for God of War, because people are using it, and they were like, I don't remember, somebody I think said something about, like, Gears of War or whatever. And then somebody has the shitty comment of, GOW means God of War. Gears of War is garbage. And it's like, nah. Which that, yeah, from this GameFAQs thing, another one, basically says that there are no weaknesses as far as I'm aware. I don't know. I mean, if I was making the game, I would make it to where the game does not have weaknesses either. Because I feel like that kind of doesn't really work for God of War very well. DMC Devil May Cry tried that when it originally came out. And we saw how successful that idea was. Which eventually, even the devs themselves just got rid of completely. And yeah, they entirely just got rid of it. Because nobody really liked the whole, angel versus demon mechanic back in the original version of DMC, Devil May Cry, the reboot. So, I mean, I didn't really care either way. I thought, okay, that's not really technically true. Of course I cared to a point where it's like, okay, these guys are annoying, but that was mostly about it. I didn't care if they got rid of it or not. Like, that was up to them. And then they did, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like this. I like this. So I like this better, obviously. Okay, so now that I do know that you can parry these guys' shields up. I don't know at this point in time, by the way. This is something I find out later in the game. But as you can see, I'm just kind of like rolling away, and I tried doing like a whole throwing thing, but that didn't work. I eventually do find out that, yes, you can parry the shield guys and then break their shields that way. So keep that in mind. That is something you can do, and I would highly recommend you do it. With the general satyrs, or I think just satyrs in general, you can, if you're near a wall, you can basically knock them into a wall, like get like a wall splat and do a bit of extra damage on them. It's really cool. I don't know if the wall splat itself does extra damage, but I'm just saying in general, like, if they're on a wall splat, you could use that to your advantage to get extra, bit of hits in and what have you. It's kind of like a fighting game in that sense. Which is still funny that fighting games kind of spawned from just beat 'em ups in general, like back in the day, like with Final Fight and Streets of Rage and what have you. Well, I mean, I think we had fighting games probably before Streets, but around the time when beat 'em ups were kind of a thing, like we had other quote unquote fighting games before. I think like one of the first technical fighting games was some karate type game or whatever, where it's like, it's a 2D playing field. You look at each other, you fight each other, that type of thing. But of course, I think back then we didn't really have a name for that type of stuff. And nowadays fighting games have become what they are. They are like you know what a fighting game is. You look at Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's a fighting game. Which, I'm going to stir up some controversy here, but I still think that Smash Brothers is a fighting game. In large. I think because a lot of people just kind of see it as a fighting game, or just try to use it like a fighting game, I think that's fair to say that at that point, that, yeah, I think it's a fighting game. Oh, something else I was going to say, talking about Gears of War. So, I bought Gears of War 1 on the Xbox One, like, I think a year or two ago, whenever it was, that I bought it, and I played it, and I didn't really care much for it. And then eventually I bought Gears of War Ultimate Edition with the Rare Replay, because I just want to have Rare Replay, physically. And I bought that, and again, same thing. I tried out Gears of War 1 again, just didn't work. I bought Gears of War 2, same thing. I don't like this series that much. But I'm proud to say this. I bought Gears of War 3, like last week, I think it was. Last weekend or something like that. I always forget when I buy these damn things now. I bought Gears of War 3 for like fucking, I think like $10 or whatever. Pretty cheap. And, oh yeah, by the way, there's a little crevice there you can put that thing through. It's kind of hard to see at first, but it's there. I played Gears of War 3, and I gotta say, I enjoy it. I actually found a Gears of War game that I really like. And I looked up, like, how do people rank Gears of War games? Like, which ones are, like, the good ones? Which ones are, like, the bad ones? And funny enough, no surprise, Gears of War 3 I saw was, like, the top of the list. And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, because that one's just really kind of easy to get into and just really enjoyable. Because for a while, I just didn't enjoy... I didn't enjoy the militaristic part of it. Like the basic military type concept that was going on with the first game. And then I didn't really care much for how the locusts take so much damage to kill. it was just, I don't know, and the game just, the original couple of games just kind of felt kind of stiff. And then I played 3, and it's like, it's starting to kind of get it, you know? I'm starting to kind of understand it a lot better, and I'm starting to feel like it's pretty decent. I used to, I had a friend that I used to live next to. They're no longer there, of course, but, well, we're no longer near each other anyway. But I had a friend who I would play Gears of War with him on his Xbox, because I didn't have an Xbox back in the day. My parents were not Xbox fans at all, so they did not want us to have an Xbox. Which, looking at it now, it's like, that's kind of stupid, considering the fact that, like, Xbox didn't really, I mean, they're fine. By the way, something I want to talk about in a minute about Xbox stuff. So if you guys care about games or whatever, I'll tell you something that I've heard in a second. So, yeah, like, I would play Gears of War and Halo with him, but, like, I didn't really care much for them back in the day. And then now that I'm finally... Oh, God, this part I have to kill every goddamn thing. Yeah, sorry about that. But, yeah, so I would play it back in the day. Didn't really think much of it. Didn't really care much for it. Didn't play the multiplayer much either, you know, that kind of thing. But nowadays, it's like, man, I feel like I kind of missed out a little bit, you know? Because that was definitely a time period that was worth living in, no doubt about it. And it would have been cool to play the multiplayer back in the day, but... Well, you know, I got to play the stuff that I got to play, and it's not all that bad. I got to play Uncharted, you know, multiplayer, so it's all good. Resistance, same thing. It's all good. But anyway, so while buying some of the Gears of War stuff, I was talking to the cashier guy at the game store, and he had mentioned that, okay, by the way, take this with a grain of salt. This is just kind of an overseen, like, you kind of notice things in the gaming verse, you know what I mean? So, we're discussing, and yes, I'm talking about us. You know, I'll talk to people about games, because I'm a, you know, autistic weirdo, I guess. But, we're talking about, like, Xbox, and how, basically, Xbox games are, like, super cheap, and, you know, they're just everywhere now mainly just because of Game Pass. And it's like, yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it, is that's just how it is. Like, Game Pass makes it to where, like, all these games are highly ready and available, and streaming is, you know, kind of a thing that's just going to make it easier for people who want to kind of get into. And to be fair with you guys, I'm completely afraid of games going full streaming service. I am deeply terrified of that. Like, yeah, it can work, but the thing is, like, my internet is absolute fucking garbage because, well, the internet provider I have is absolute fucking garbage. If I want to play a game, if I want to stream a game, I have to use a LAN cable to even just have a chance to play at a relatively good, decent thing. If I'm playing on Wi-Fi, it's fucked. But you could say, like, that's for anything. Like, you should never play fighting games with a Wi-Fi connection. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I only have just the one LAN cable. I tried buying a splitter, and it just doesn't fucking work, of course, because it's me we're talking about. So I tried buying a splitter to connect both of my, you know, consoles and connect to my computer so I can play both. But yeah, that didn't work because, again, I'm dumb. But but anyway, yeah, Xbox games, you know, you might be able to find them a lot more often than you would, like, say, PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever. So just keep that in mind, that I think there's going to come a point, and I noticed it too, like, you go to a GameStop or whatever, right? Because that's pretty much butt-fucking everywhere. You go to a GameStop, and it's like, oh, like, they're starting to now, thank God, bring back the whole retro games. Which, by retro, they basically mean... Well, there are some GameStops that sell, like, GameCube titles and Wii titles. But for the most part, a lot of the GameStops you'll probably see tend to sell, like, Xbox 360, PS3 games. More so than anything, you know, underneath that. And, I think it's going to get to a point where people are going to start probably selling off their 360 games because either remasters are a thing, or at the very least, Game Pass is a thing. Now, another thing, too, to keep in mind, and this is no I'm not trying to shit on Xbox or whatever. Like, Microsoft's not a great company, but neither is Sony. I do feel like it's going to get to a point where I think... Because, like, what the cashier guy was talking about was he was talking about another problem, too, which is brand. Where it's like people are kind of not... they're not really liking the brand... Like, yeah, the brand... what's the fucking thing for that? What's it called? Damn it. It's that thing where, like, you put a lot of trust into the brand. You really like that brand. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like... Or used to like Xbox and used to like Microsoft. But we're talking about, like, it's possible that, you know, that might start to go down, possibly. Because, you know, Microsoft kind of shooting himself in the foot a lot of the times. So, it's possible that maybe people might just start giving up on Xbox games. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say that's true. I'm just saying that if that is the case, if you want Xbox games, I think now would be the time to probably go get them. Because I think people are starting to kind of get rid of a lot of their stuff. And one of the reasons why I know that that's kind of the case is when you... I'll give you an example. So, I think Silent Hill 4 on, like, PS2 was, like, over, like, $100 some or whatever, right? I saw it, I think, on Amazon for, like, over $100 or whatever. I believe so. And I bought my copy of Silent Hill 4 for the Xbox for only about $80 and not the full, which I got ripped off because I bought Silent Hill 4 for fucking $80. But, I bought that one because I finally wanted Silent Hill 4. Of course, I didn't really like it that much, but hey, you know, it's a rare game. It's like, okay, cool, you know. So I got it for cheaper on Xbox, which, yeah, it's a little bit of a lesser copy because, you know, I'm playing with backwards compatibility and not the actual Xbox. So that kind of hurts it a little bit. But still, I got a cheaper copy of it. You look at something like... I'll just fucking... yeah. Look at Transformers Devastation. Go try to find a copy of Transformers Devastation on PS4 for a relatively good price. It's so hard to find one. Like, they're like a couple $100, $100, you know, whatever. They're really, really expensive. However, if you want to go get, like, the older copies, like PS3 or earlier gen, nothing. You know, it's like $20. But that's not the thing I want to talk about. For Xbox One, as far as I'm aware, you can actually get a copy of Transformers Devastation for a lot cheaper than you would a PS4 copy. And so that's another thing that kind of goes to show, too. And there's like another Xbox game that I wanted that was kind of cheap. I forget what it was, but all I'm saying is that a lot of Xbox games just seem to be a lot cheaper than PlayStation now. And maybe it is because, like, people are just getting rid of their Xbox games. They're like, fuck it. You know, I don't want these games anymore because I've got Game Pass or whatever. I know I should probably get advice about the Talos guys or whatever, those armored statue guys, but they're pretty easy to fight. If you block their slam attack, you just block the entire thing. When they go into that burst mode, just run away. Let them do their shit and let them just, you know, calm down and then just go beat their ass. So that's the best advice I can give you. They're really not that bad, I promise. The electric ones are a little bit worse because you have to... When they do their special attack, you really have to get back and get away from that one. Also, it's kind of funny how the game is just like, yep, here you go. Here's just a white and red chest. Because, you know, fuck it. I don't know if there's any chests, like, directly below me or not. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. But this part of the game is pretty fun, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of interesting. Again, I do really kind of like the withered concept of it. Of the level, I do think that's kind of a fun puzzle, but I just think the level is just too fucking damn long. But then again, to be fair, you know, I didn't have to record an entire hour's worth of content, which is crazy because we're already halfway through. Yeah, we're already halfway through this damn video, which, you know, I wish it was a little bit faster, of course, but at the same time, it's like, well, it is what it is. But I do enjoy watching myself play God of War, though. I'm not going to lie. I think it actually is quite fun, so it was good that I decided to play God of War because, yeah, this is hella enjoyable, to be honest. It's kind of funny, too, because, like, looking at it now, it's like, now I kind of want to go play God of War Ascension. I can't believe it. You know, like, I'm watching myself play God of War Ascension. It's like, it's not that bad of a game. It isn't. I really do still think that the first part of the game is an absolute fucking mess in terms of doing damn near anything. I think it's just such a pain in the ass to play that part. With, you know, the camera angle, the hecatonchire shit and all that. You know, I think it's really annoying. Now, real quick, I do not stay and fight the bats or the harpies. Yeah, they're harpies, okay. I wasn't sure. I don't really stay back and fight them this time, so apologies there. Granted, you don't probably get much orbs from them anyway, but at the same time, it's like, I just want to get through this. I don't want to have to fucking re-wither everything again, because as much as I think it's a cool concept, I hate doing this part over and over again. So I would rather just, you know, go through it the best I can, just get it done with. I would rather put the tip of my cock in front of a tarantula than play this shitty game. That's the funny thing. I don't have much to say about Chris Bohr's Irate Gamer. I don't really have much besides the obvious, you know, haha, funny Irate Gamer guy. It's just still crazy that he's a ghost hunter, but he's such a cock. The dude is such a cock. It's so funny. Because, like, he'll... Like, okay, look, I get it. You know, copying off other people is bad. Like, he just straight up, not really plagiarized, but definitely copied off quite a bit of stuff. Actually, real quick, before we get into Irate Gamer bullshit. So these are Wraiths, and Wraiths are actually quite easy in this game. They have the ability to summon clones, but even then, it's still not that bad. And if you get a stun on them, you get your magic back a little bit. Whenever they go underground, just press R1, you can grab them, they come back up. Vertical launchers, you know, air juggles type stuff, that's good against them too, of course. If you want to use your magic, you could do that because you can get a little bit of it back, which is why I did that here. But do make sure that they're not underground while you're doing that because you'll miss. And of course, again, with these guys, you know, it's just easy pickings pretty much. To be fair, having one underground is not a big deal because you can block most if not all their attacks. I think you can pretty much block every single attack that these guys do. But every chance that you get to do a stun attack, like a rage mode burst thing or whatever, go for that. If you can get away with getting a vertical hit, go for that. By the way, I have no clue what happened there. I want to say that I probably did enough damage to the main guy for that to effectively work and blow them all up. I'm not sure, but yeah. So focus on parries, focus on getting that rage mode going, and just keep those stuns going and get your magic back, that kind of thing, if you want to use magic. If you don't want to, then at the very least, you get that stun, you get some decent damage. And if they decide to go underground, you know, which they're probably going to do, R1 their ass, and there you go. They're only really that bad if you're fighting them with multiple people. But for the most part, Wraiths are really not that bad in this game. They're way... Yeah, I would rather deal with Wraiths in this game than any other fucking God of War at this point. Like, yeah, because, like, they were a pain in the ass in God of War 1. Not terrible in God of War 1, but they were a pain. And they were a fucking nightmare in God of War 2. They were a nightmare in God of War 2. So there's that. But yeah, I did kind of forget how to do this puzzle room for like a second. I got really worried too. And that was like the main thing about God of War Ascension I was worried about. I'm like, oh my god, I don't remember how to do any of the puzzles, you know? It's like, I don't remember. But then I remember like, oh yeah, there's that button here. I'll just pretend like I knew that was there the whole time and just, you know, fuck with people. And it's like, that's, yeah, you gave it away. I gave it away, but yeah, I did not know that was, well, I think I saw it, and then I didn't put the two and two together, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go press that button. And then, like I said, pretend like I knew it was there the whole time. But luckily, that button, when you press it, it does, of course, make the door to the right slam up, so you don't have to worry about it. And here's me just trying to figure out how to do it all again. But don't worry. We get to a point where things just make more sense, and I just figure it out. So, I wouldn't worry too much about that. The thing that bothers me about this puzzle is, like, I don't think I get it. That's the problem. I don't think I understand. I don't know. I mean, I kind of do, I guess, but there's just, like, the beginning part of it's like, I just don't get it. Although, looking back at it now, it's like, oh, okay. You press button to open door. You open door, you go to the lever, and it lets you wither stuff. Alright, cool. You wither stuff, you make a platform to the left, and it stays down the entire time. Which is kind of... Because that's the thing, though. Like, I guess this is not time travel-related type stuff, because if you break something within it, it's broken for good. So, this has to be some type of withering type thing. But, yeah, it just makes you old. That's pretty much what it does. Okay. I don't know if there's anything to the left. Honestly, I think there was. I think there might have been a way you can go left. If you're ever on a situation where you can climb something, that would be a good point to do it for. And then right here, it's just like, you're not trying to break the glass just yet, but you have to, you know, jump straight ahead. And there you go. Then, of course, they're just kind of foreshadowing, saying like, hey, this is pretty much what the answer to the puzzle basically is. But they fucking force you to watch the cutscene every time. It's like, damn it. Like, I get it, okay. I get it, you know. I may be stupid, but I get it. And I think that, I want to say that there's a left side here. Also, I was going to say, is that ladder even going down that far? And it's like, oh yeah, it goes down to the bottom floor. Because it wasn't there before, I think. But wait, wasn't it? So wait, what's the point of the ladder? Why does the ladder go down? I'm so confused. Because that's how we got to the top of here anyway, back then, right? Was like the ladder would just appear down there. Oh yeah, don't forget to come in here and grab your chest, too. So, don't forget about that. God damn it, seeing this game just makes me want to go do a God of War marathon again. Fuck me. Fuck me. Not. You say you want to, but I don't know if you really do. You know, in all fairness, I don't really know if that's even a thing I would like to do at all. So, we'll see. I mean, it sounds like a fun idea, but it's not that it's a bad idea. It just takes time. I get angry. And since it's been a while since I played this. Well, I mean, it wasn't that long ago since I played this. It was like a week or two ago. Yeah, like literally, no, it was this weekend. I beat it this Monday. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't know. Anyway, we got these new types of harpy enemies. They tend to kind of like try to shoot you. They only do 2 shots per. You can just grab them and then just kick them into each other or throw them into each other and just beat them up like that. Pretty simple, straightforward, easy stuff. Nothing too big to worry about. So. I don't have any other piece of advice besides these guys just can get fucked. I mean, there's nothing else to them. You know, they're pretty damn straightforward, pretty easy. Pretty typical easy harpy things. Yes, I know about the fight with the Amazon lady later on, but even then, still. And by the way, I don't think that fire does anything. Oh, the ladder does go... Oh, because we needed to jump on the statue to get up. Oh. I am fucking stupid, huh? God damn. I forgot. Yeah, you need the ladder to be able to climb back up. And then if you remembered... Yeah, I keep trying to climb up to see if there's anything up there at all. And it's like, no, dude, there's nothing. But if you line up the statue right below that, you know, you just basically can allow access to put the statue on top of the platform and then hop on top of the statue thing and you can just ride it up with it. So, yeah, there you go. There's that. Also, I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to watch this far into the video, but depending on how things go, we might actually have another person's guide coming up on the channel after God of War Ascension. It might actually happen, so look forward to that. Hopefully it happens, of course. You know, I'm not going to put any pressure on anybody to do it. It's just that I would like for it to happen. And then it gives me time to save videos and get done with Transformers, you know, in a relatively good amount of time. Get those edited, commentated, everything, you know. So, yeah. And the Transformers project is it's almost done, guys. It's almost done. And then once we get to Generation 3 of Hardcorian, I'm going to be focusing probably on just doing a few minor stuff, I guess. Like, most likely, Yeah, by the way, you don't need to put down the button. The button just opens the fucking doors. I'm too stupid for this stuff. But anyway, I'll be trying to do, like, a few things, like Batman Arkham, Uncharted, you know. I would like to start DMC, like I said before. That would be neat, but we'll see how that goes. And if I would love to learn and understand and figure out how God Hand works on an intricate level, to just be able to understand it fully and get it down and be able to beat that on hard. That would be great. I would love to do that, but we'll see. Maybe even, I don't know if I would do it. I thought about it a bunch of times, but like Infamous on hard. And then I was like, well, Infamous on hard is just hard mode. It doesn't really do much. Yeah, the enemies are harder, but it's not like a big deal. But no upgrade run would be probably the most insane thing for that. See, that's the thing, though. I tend to struggle with trying to figure out, like, what would be a good idea for a guide. Because it's like, well, I could do this, but I could do it harder. And it's like, okay, yeah, but you don't really need to, buddy. You know? Also, I think I did this in one go, finally. I think this was, like, the first time I've done it in one sesh. Not the entire boss fight, but just, I don't think I died on the chase scene at all. I'm not trying to show off. It's just like, I've had moments in the past where I've actually struggled to do this fight. So that's partly why. Yeah. Anyway, honestly, a God of War Marathon doesn't sound too bad right about now. Actually, not gonna lie. Starting off, throw the rock, and it'll hit him. Yes, throw your Dwayne Johnsons right at the boss. And if you can find a rock around the field, then get it. Those pillars right there with the cracks, you can break them and then get rocks. Which, getting rock gets you magic, I think, back to. So this guy has a few attacks. That slam attack is unblockable and unparryable. He'll have a 3-hit combo. If you parry the first hit, you're going to want to dodge. If you parry the second hit, you're perfectly fine. You don't have to dodge. Because you'll have iframes by the time you're doing it, so it's not a big deal. So I would suggest just block the first attack and then go for a parry for the second hit. And if you're lucky enough, he'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again. He's really not that terrible of a boss fight. I used to think he was a lot harder than he actually was, but he's really not, to be fair. Again, if you see a rock pop up, then just grab it and throw it at his ass. Which you can actually get a double hit off of. You can. So, yeah, I died right there. But what can happen is, if you're going to go throw the rock, you'll actually spin the rock into him, and then you could throw the rock after and hit him. And then for this part, it's just run around the room, wait for the platforms to come back. And this is a checkpoint, by the way. You get checkpointed here. Which, obviously you do, because I died and I restarted the thing. So, yeah, you get a checkpoint. Because if you didn't get a checkpoint, why would I bother? This phase kind of sucks a lot more ass, because now you have to deal with the slowdown thing. Oh, by the way, in God of War Ascension, if you die, you get your health back. Which is very, very nice of them to do that. I don't know why they do it, but I mean, I'll take it. So, yeah, whenever he's doing that, just roll out, you know, the best you can. And typically, most of the time, he's not going to do anything too special to kick your ass while you're in slowdowns. He's not like a huge threat. And luckily, I think in this phase, I want to say he's got less health than he normally does. Alright, now we're into phase 3. It should be phase 3. All we gotta do now is just knock down these pillars that he's on top of. Those you can block by just blocking. I don't think you can parry them back. I think the game wants you to throw rocks at him while he's on the pillars, but I just knock down every pillar I can. So that way, I could just have the rocks out on the field. So that way, you know, when I'm close to him, I'll just beat his ass. And yeah, we're not doing any damage there, so he's basically just... Yeah. Okay, so he's got a new form of attack. He's got now a 4-hit combo, which I had to kind of like relearn there. So, I would suggest, again, just blocking the second or first hit, and then if you block the first hit, just dodge that slam. Because the slam is a lot more telegraphed in this combo, which is nice. And then again, you know, going back to it, rocks make, you know, everything a lot easier, so just go with those. If you want to dodge around the field, go ahead. Because I was kind of struggling to figure out what the hell he was trying to do. That's a grab. It does minimal damage. If you're doing no damage run, then yeah, you're fucked. But it does so little damage to you anyway that it's not anything to worry about. Yeah, see that I parried that right there. Which he didn't go for the slam, though, that time. So I think that might be one of those, like, he just... If you do parry him, I think he just changes up his attack pattern. But you can block most of this until that. Which, again, you know, that's... I would say that that is relatively quite generous, to be fair, for the game to do that, so... Yeah, and at this point, it's mostly just the same thing. Like, he's going to slam, he's going to run around and do whatever he can. By the way, you are in slowdown there, so it might be kind of hard to see. Like, it's hard for me to see it, but you are in slowdown. And then I think this rock, every single time, is a rock that you have to jump on top of. And then I believe that's... I think that's a checkpoint, I want to say. I think they do the Vanquish thing where it's like, now you're in first person, and now it's a checkpoint, so don't worry about dying. I would hope. I do kind of wish that this first-person section was a little bit more interesting, much like with God of War 3. Like, it's cool that they did it, but it's so... Yeah, it's just the one thing, and that's it. It's just nothing. And now we're gonna beat the fucking life out of them, literally. Literally and metaphorically. Get grabbed, you know, quick time event stuff, that kind of thing. And now we're into phase 4. You thought we were done, but now you have to deal with the magic. Oh yeah, Pollux and Castor, I think is his name. I think this guy's Castor. So, I did die there. All these can be blocked. I would suggest, before you run up to him, he's a fucking fighting game zoner at this point. So just block like a few hits and then dodge. And that's a slam, so I think that's unblockable. That can be blocked. And that's when you want to hit him too. You want to kind of like beat him up when he's doing that. Because if he's going for that AoE attack, like, you can easily just block it. Now the thing with this though is it's kind of hard to determine what he's going to do next. Because he can't switch between different attacks. He can easily switch between like, oh, I'm going to do, you know, shooting laser stuff. He's going to do, what? AoE. He might do anything. He might do a slam. So you really have to be kind of on your toes in this particular fight itself. So I would suggest just watching yourself. Block everything that you can, and when he's got that certain attack that you just know how to beat out of, then just go with that. You know, don't worry too much about trying to hit him in every circumstance. Just focus on trying to block and getting a good, you know, attack in. And of course with the pillars, you know, break them, get rocks. You know, hit Unga Boonga with rock. Knock out Unga Boonga. Unga Boonga unconscious. So, I guess that... Okay, I think the second slam is blockable, but I want to say that that one is unblockable. That one has to be unblockable. Because a lot of time, overhead slam attacks in God of War and just fighting games in general tend to be unblockable stuff. Well, I mean, if you're crouching low, then you get hit by it, yeah, but... That's all different stuff. So, to be fair... It's much different. But yeah, I think that's getting close to being about it. At this point, it's just pure attrition. You know, you just run up to him, catch up to him, and then hit him. You only have a certain amount of rocks though, so be careful with that. And I would also say don't use magic because it just seems to be kind of, you know, too much. Okay, so that's Castor. Okay. And I think... Hold on, let me double check here. We got about 13 minutes left of footage. I want to say that this is... it. All I gotta do now is just beat the living hell out of him. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't show combos on the side, but it does show him, like, getting knocked away. So it's kind of a nice... I guess you could still say, like, it is still a nice visual cue of... Yeah, you are kicking his ass, so there's that. Oh, behind you. And just don't forget, you know, this is a quick time event, and I think if you do die here, I want to say you start the quick time event over anyway, so it's not a big deal. But once you're into the quick time event, you're basically good to go. All I gotta do now is just rip off this fucking tumor and... Well, yeah, you're pretty much done. Done with that entire boss fight. It used to be a lot harder back then, I swear. I swear, back then I used to struggle with it a lot more. But nowadays, it's like, okay, it's really not that terrible. Quite quite a decent fight, honestly. I would say maybe I should do a top 10 or ranking every boss fight in every God of War game. Now that again, that requires me to go get the footage for every single boss. Well, I mean, I could just go fucking record my... I can go reuse my videos that I made for... But I don't have anything for Ragnarok, though. That's the problem. Yeah, I've got no Ragnarok footage, so I guess I'll have to go play God of War 4 and God of War Ragnarok on Hardcorean and then record them that way. And I've never done the... I've never played Betrayal, so... Yeah. God damn. Oh, well. But anywho, we now have one of the best items in any God of War game, to be fair. This is the Amulet of Ouroboros. And essentially it does pretty much what you think it does. It heals and decays. So yeah, it was Withering Decay. I don't know why I didn't... I should know this. That's what it was. You get that fucking ability. I'm so stupid. But this is one of the best combat things as well. So is the Orcos one. Spoiler alert, you get Orcos. You're playing this game on Titan mode. I think by now you should know that that's the thing. Which reminds me, funny story, folks. So I whipped out Ninja Gaiden 2 OG yesterday because I was like, I want to play it. I want to play it over again. I haven't gotten Master Ninja mode unlocked just yet because, you know, I've always played Sigma. I've always played later versions. I didn't really had an Xbox back then. So now that I have one, it's like, okay, you know, I have a copy of that. I have a copy of... Oh, wait, there's a chest there. Oh, fuck! I saw it too. Don't worry, I saw it. Yes, there was a chest there. You can revive the chest there. God damn it. Oh, it doesn't matter. So, anywho, I was playing it. I started back over on Mentor mode. And I just immediately got decimated. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, am I this bad at Ninja Gaiden? And it's like, yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2, like, I understand. I was like, I understand that OG Ninja Gaiden 2 is a lot harder, but, like, god damn. Either I'm way out of practice, or that game was a lot harder than I thought it was. Which could be a case of, like, Sigma making everything a lot easier. Which is funny, too, because Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is pretty easy, for the most part. Well, I mean, I've not been on Master Ninja mode just yet, but at the same time, it's like, you know... The struggle is about the same as it normally is. It's not a big deal. But still, though, like, I'm just surprised that, like, goddamn, I don't remember getting my ass whooped that much. But I think I'd have to say it's probably just a case of being way out of practice. It's like with a lot of other games. Like, I'm just, you know, yeah. But at the very least, when it comes to certain games, like God of War, for example... I'm not that far down. Also, the reason why I tend to keep a lot of this stuff in the footage, why this video is so long for or whatever, is because we keep getting these elemental stuff, and we keep, you know... Because we got the soul elemental in this video, and now we have the Ouroboros one, which, by the way, don't worry, I do start using it. It's just my stupid fucking ass. I tended to forget how this game worked. So, God of War Ascension works in a non-God of War way. You kind of have to think a little bit more outside the box in certain cases. And one of those cases being that the amulet is one of them. So don't forget that you have that damn thing, and you should upgrade that thing as quick as possible. Well, I mean, focus on getting your blades damage up too. But, at the very least, you definitely want to get the Ouroboros thing going. Because... Or Ouroboros, sorry. You want to get that going because... it would make your life a little less hell. All things considered, it would definitely make your life 10 times less miserable than anything else. So, yeah, there's that. Easy fight, but just don't forget that you have it. And you can definitely tell that I do not play this game a lot because I don't really use it. And that's kind of my fault. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, was God of War Ascension ever really that bad? Or was it just that I just suck? I don't know. I mean, it's not... Okay, look, it's not that bad. It's perfectly reasonable. It's just that tight mode. Some parts of it just doesn't fit very well. And, you know, we saw a little bit of that in the first part, but for the most part of the game, like, the middle parts are pretty okay, and then you get to, like, the end stuff, and it's like... some stuff's kind of just whack. But I don't know. I think I'm just a hater. Alright, so back to the sirens again. Honestly, I would say it's probably one of the uglier sirens of God of War. I mean, the ones in God of War 1 and 2 were fine enough. But, I don't know. This one's kind of like, eh. Nah. I don't know. That attack right there is a stun, obviously, but I don't think it can do damage to you. And usually when she shoots those lightning balls, it's like 2 at a time. And these are usually like three Pikachu Thunderstorm bullshit things. I tried aiming the sword at her, but I couldn't get it to work. So, now what? But the good news is, we do have access to the Ouroboros ability. We have the we're gonna call it the fucking amulet. That's what it's gonna be called, goddammit. So, we have access to the amulet. We can slow her down. We can basically just old age her ass, which I always considered. I always thought it was like slow down like via time, but I guess when you think about it, it's an ability that makes them slower because they're getting older and they're, yeah. So it makes sense in that regard, but still, I still like to think of it like a time amulet type thing, no matter what. Like they'll never change. I think I'll always just consider it a time ability for as long as I live. But yeah, the reason why I'm showing off this stuff is because like we got the amulet. I want to show off what you can do with it. I want to show off the elemental stuff and all that. And it's like sometimes it's just there's just some parts that are like not really a good checkpoint to end off on. Like right here, for example, it's like, well, I got these chests because I was considering ending off here, but I'm like, well, I don't want to get the chests in the next video. I want to get them in here because we're already right here. So why not get them, finished with now and get to a really good spot to end off on? Oh, I am sorry about that. Had a big old yawn there. I guess I'm just super fucking tired because I went to bed around like I think 2 or 3 last night. It was quite late, and as you do, you kind of wake up a little later than usual than you want to. Not that much later. Like I think I got out of bed like an hour or two after I set my alarm, but still, I didn't really get that. Well, I should have gotten out of sleep, but I don't know. I think the things happened to me too, I got struck by the Ouroboros ability, and now I'm getting fucking slowed down in real life. I'm getting withered in real life. It's not good. Not good at all. At least my gaming skills are still pretty okay. They're still pretty intact. But then again, when it comes to a lot of gaming, like, all you gotta do is just figure out, like, how does this actually work to its fullest? How can I make this work more so than reaction or skill? Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of times where, like, skill is a big player. Or reaction time is a big player. Yes, but sometimes there's a lot of games where there's just that one thing that might help you that you just don't know about. And that's where, again, I keep bringing it up in every video, but that's where God Hand makes me struggle at the most, is because I don't know what that one thing is. I don't know what that secret thing is. I have new ideas about building up money to get more stuff, but that's about it. That's not going to help me in general in the long run. So, like, I need to figure out how to do crowd control. I need to figure out how to do, which that could be it, actually. It's probably just fucking crowd control, to be honest with you. Another thing, too, is I need to get out of my head that, like, hey, look, you can run away from enemies. You don't have to fight everything all the time. Like, you can do that. I understand that take on every guy at once sounds like a cool idea or sounds like a good idea, but this is God Hand on hard. Like, you can fucking play at your own pace. Divide and conquer, they say. Play smarter, not harder, So, I need to get that out of my head. I need to get that out of my system. And that affects a lot of games, too. Like, I need to start learning, like, hey, it's okay if you want to show off, like, yeah, I spent 20 hours fighting this motherfucker with the same attack over and over again. That's great. But there's always a way you can do it better. And, there's no shame in learning that either. It's perfectly okay. And even if I do get advice or tips from other guide people, it's like, well, I'll just shout them out and say, I got advice from them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There should be nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. And if people want to, you know, get advice from me and make their own guide channel and then just be like, yeah, I got some tips from hardcoring guides over there. It's like, okay, well, awesome. All I ask is, you know, just give me credit if I came up with something. If I came up with something. That's the big thing, too. I typically don't come up with new stuff. I'm not here to make new material in terms of new complete advice. I just give you guys what I do. I show you guys what I do, and I tell you guys if I learned something from somebody else or not. So that's how I do it. So, Troll, Cyclops, kill the bugs first, because they're just going to get in the way. If you have a weapon on hand, which I don't, you could just throw it at him and get a stun on him. I want to say that the rage thing does work, but I don't know. Ouroboros him whenever you get the chance. Yeah, the rage thing actually knocks him down, which is pretty nice. And somehow he just got fucking stuck, I guess. Alright, cool. The bugs might seem like they're infinite, but they really aren't. They kind of give off that vibe that they are, but trust me, they're not. They're not that big of a deal, to be frank. Yeah, once again, just every time you get a chance, just slow them down. It'd make your life a lot easier, and then just keep throwing bugs at him. Keep doing the rage thing, knock him on his ass. It's just rinse, lather, repeat. That sort of thing. And if you ever get a chance to grab onto them, then take it. Yeah, definitely, because fuck these bugs. There's so many of them. They're everywhere, and it sucks. But yeah, don't worry, after this fight, that's it. And honestly, I think I'm probably going to be done with the recording commentary for today. This was an hour-long session, folks. There's something about like doing a whole hour run through with no break in between that makes me just kind of not want to do it. And yeah, I saw the little glitch there. I saw him kind of in fall animation, which is funny. But don't worry, we'll get this video out. You guys will get to see this video pretty soon, and then hopefully tomorrow I will start up more videos. So we'll see how that all goes and what entails for that. I think I show off me getting a few chests, I want to say. I think I do like another little chest thing here. I might call it that, I believe. Let's look at like 20 seconds left. I don't know. We'll see. What all did Alex do in this video? Who knows? Could be a number of things. Okay, upgrading, I think, yeah. Does that get fully... No. I was going to say, I hope it got fully upgraded, but it did not. Well, anyway, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. So, as always, take care, everybody.